Welcome back to my channel. Read along with me. We are continuing this read, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, Subjective Faith and What It Means. The subjective or subconscious mind of an individual is as amenable to the control of his or her own conscious or objective mind as it is to the suggestions of another. It follows that whatever may be your objective belief, if you will assume to have faith actively or passively, your subconscious mind will be controlled by these suggestions and your desire will be fulfilled. The faith required in mental healing is purely subjective faith. The way to attain it is to put an end to active opposition on the part of the objective or conscious mind. For an effective healing of the body to take place, it is of course best if both the conscious and subconscious are in state of fully accepting faith. However, it is not always essential. You can enter into condition of passivity and receptivity by relaxing the mind and the body and getting into a sleepy state. In this drowsy state, your passivity becomes receptive to subjective impression. A man once asked me, "How is it that I got a healing through a certain minister?" when he told me that there is no such thing as disease and that does not exist. I did not believe a word he said. I thought he was insulting my intelligence, and yet I was healed. How could that be? As I told this man, the explanation is simple. He was quieted by soothing words and told to get into a perfectly passive condition, to say nothing and think of nothing for the time being. The minister also became passive. He affirmed quietly, peacefully, and constantly for about half hour to this man would have perfect health, peace, harmony, and wholeness. At the end of the half hour, the man felt immense relief and was restored to health. It is easy to see that his subjective faith had been manifest by his passivity under treatment, and the suggestion of perfect healthfulness by the minister was conveyed to his subconscious mind. The two subjective minds were then in rapport. If the man had allowed his doubts about the healer's power and the correctness of his theory to surface, these would have acted as antagonistic auto-suggestions. The minister's suggestion would have been seriously handicapped or even totally frustrated. In this sleepy, drowsy state, however, the resistance of the conscious mind was reduced to a minimum. The subconscious mind of the patient was receptive to the minister's suggestion. It performed its functions in harmony with those suggestions and a healing followed. The meaning of absent treatment. Suppose while living in Los Angeles, you learned that your mother in New York City was seriously ill. Your first impulse might be to leave your home and job to go to her. But what if that were not possible? Would you have to give up any hope of lending the strength of your faith through the process of your mother's recovery? No. While you might be physically present, your prayers would go to her nonetheless. It is the Father within that doeth the work. There is but one creative mind. The creative law of mind serves you. What you must do is to induce an inner realization of health and harmony in your own mentality. Its response is automatic. This inner realization acting through the subconscious mind operates in turn on your mother's subconscious mind. Your thoughts of health, vitality, and perfection operate through the one universal subjective mind. They set in motion a law of subjective side of life that manifests itself through her body as healing. In mind principle, there is no time or space. The same mind operates through your mother and through you, no matter where you may be. In reality, there is no absent treatment as opposed to present treatment for the individual. For the universe mind is omnipresent. You do not try to send out thoughts or hold a thought. Your treatment is a conscious movement of thought. As you become conscious of the qualities of health and well-being and relaxation, these qualities will be resurgent in the experience of your mother. Results will follow. Here is an actual example of what is misleadingly called absent treatment. A woman in Los Angeles learned that her mother in New York has suffered a coronary thrombosis. She could not go to her mother's side, but she prayed as follows: "The healing presence is right where my mother is. Her bodily condition is but a reflection of her thought life, like shadows cast on the screen. I know that in order to change the images on the screen, I must change what they reflect. I now project in my own mind the images of wholeness, harmony, and perfect health for my mother. The infinite healing presence that created my mother's body and all the organs is now saturating every atom of her being, and a river of peace flows through every cell of her body. The doctors are divinely guided and directed, and whoever touches my mother is guided to do the right thing. I know that disease has no ultimate reality. If it had, no one could be healed. I now align myself with the infinite principle of love and life, and I know and decree that harmony, health, and peace are now being expressed in my mother's body." She prayed in this manner several times a day. After a few days, her mother had a remarkable recovery. Her cardiologist was amazed and complimented her on the great faith and power of God. The conclusion arrived at in the daughter's mind and accepted by her with perfect faith set in motion, the creative energy within the universal subconscious mind. This manifested itself through her mother's body as perfect health and harmony. What the daughter felt as true about her mother was simultaneously expressed in the experience of her mother, releasing the kinetic action of the subconscious mind. A psychologist friend of mine told me that the biopsy had shown the presence of cancerous cells in the vital organ. Her oncologist recommended a painful and dangerous treatment. Before agreeing, my friend tried another approach. Every night before going to sleep, she quietly affirmed, "Every cell, nerve, tissue, and organ is now being made whole, pure, and perfect. My whole body is being restored to health and harmony." A complete healing followed in about a month's time. Subsequent tests showed that the cancerous cells were no longer present. I was very impressed by this, but also curious. I asked her why she repeated her affirmation prior to sleep. She told me, "Once it is set in the motion in a certain direction, the kinetic action of your subconscious mind continues throughout your sleep. That is why it is so critical to give the subconscious mind something beneficial to work on as you drop off into slumber." This was very wise answer. Notice also that in thinking of harmony and perfect health, she never referred to her condition by name. I strongly suggest that you stop talking about your ailments or giving them a name, especially in the hours leading up to sleep. The only sap from which they draw life is your attention and fear of them. Like the above mentioned psychologist become a mental surgeon. Then your troubles will be cut off the way dead branches are pruned from a tree. On the other hand, if you are constantly naming your aches and symptoms and discussing them, you give them power over you. You inhibit the kinetic action that releases the healing power and energy of your subconscious mind. Furthermore, by the law of your own mind, these imaginings tend to take shape. As the thing I greatly feared, fill your mind with great truth of life and walk forward in the light of love. Summary of your aids to health. Find out what is it that heals you. Realize that correct directions given to your subconscious mind will heal your mind and body. Develop a definitive plan for turning over your request or desires to your subconscious mind. Imagine the end desired and feel its reality. Follow it through and you will get definite results. Decide that what belief is. Know that belief is thought in your mind and that what you think you create. It is foolish to believe in sickness or in anything that will hurt or harm you. Believe in perfect health, prosperity, peace, wealth, and divine guidance. Great and noble thoughts upon which you habitually dwell become great acts. Apply the power of prayer therapy in your life. Choose certain plan, idea, or mental picture. Unite mentally and emotionally with that idea. As you remain faithful to your mental attitude, your prayer will be answered. Always remember, if you really want the power to heal, you can have it through faith, which means a knowledge of working of your subconscious and subconscious mind. Faith comes with understanding. Blind faith means that the person may get results in healing without any scientific understanding of powers and forces involved. Learn to pray for your loved ones who may be ill. Quiet your mind. Your thoughts of health, vitality, and perfection operating through the one universal subjective mind will be felt and made manifest in the mind of your loved one. This was for today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. Read along with me. Bye.